Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for FENIX360, and I'm blessed to be joined today by the multidisciplinary artist, GABI AMIRATTO. Hello, Gabby. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Great to see you. And, Gabby, you as a singer-songwriter, I was really hoping that we could tune into some of your content that you have up on your YouTube channel. Is it cool if we tune into your video Dramatic?
Yeah, sure. Let's check it out.
Great. All right. Terrific. So let's all tune in now to Dramatic with GABI AMIRATTO.
Stop the act, check the facts, take a step back, you're not fooling anyone. Get off the stage, life's not a play, just go away, you're not fooling anyone. Better move on before I end your show. Better move on before the curtains close. You've been running the show, you've been spreading those lies, you've been playing a role, but I can see through your disguise. All of these secrets are making me sick. Why do you have to be so dramatic? So dramatic. You breaking men, you still pretend this is the end. You're not fooling anyone. So many fights under the lights comes with a price. You're not fooling anyone. Better move on before I end your show. Better move on before the curtains close. You've been running the show, you've been spreading those lies, you've been playing a role, but I can see through your disguise. All of these secrets are making me sick. Why do you have to be so dramatic?
Really nice. Really great to share your music. Thanks so much. Listen, I was wondering if you could tell me, where are you from and how did you become a multidisciplinary artist?
Yeah, so I'm currently based in Somerville, Massachusetts, which is like 15 minutes from the city of Boston. I'm a
Uh-huh.
current student graduating in the spring with a double major and a minor from Berklee College of Music. So, very
Beautiful.
much involved in the music industry. I started out as a dancer when I was 3, and kind of that's how I got opened up to all these different musical styles and genres and fell in love with um, kind of just music that moves people.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of what I aim to write as an artist, is music that moves people either emotionally or physically. And kind of from there, I got a music development deal when I was 15 or 16, wrote an album down in Nashville, made a music video, Dramatic, that you just saw. And I
Beautiful.
kind of just was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And so from there, I figured out what Berklee was. And I took 4 months and just really crammed for my audition
Uh-huh.
because I wasn't classically trained growing up. And then from there, I'm graduating in the spring with a songwriting and a professional music degree with business and production as my concentrations. And I'm doing a minor in musical theater writing. So anything writing, I'm in love with. So I hope to continue to write music that makes people feel something, both on and off the stage.
Gabby, I love it. And it's starting at 3 years old as a dancer. It's like, you already felt like that, inspiration to move to music, and from there, it just blossomed right into this skill set that you have now for writing. And you also play multiple instruments.
Yeah, I play piano and guitar. It's very important for me to play music as a songwriter. Obviously, you need to know like not just how to write lyrics, but how to write music that impacts is impactful and goes with the lyrics. But I started piano when I was little too, and I started classically actually, and from there I was like, I don't want to practice. I don't want to play classical music. I was like one of those little kids. And the more I've gotten to play around in my classes at Berklee and my songwriting and writing for the piano for songwriting, I found like love for piano all over again. And I think that's my primary instrument I love to write with, but I'm getting into a little bit more with electrical guitar now because I'm just like, it's so much fun to play. So I'm like
Uh-huh. Right.
changing up my style as I go. But I love learning new instruments. I mean, if I had all the time in the world, I'd want to play the violin. And I've said this multiple times,
Uh-huh.
but I've heard from my friends who play just how challenging it really is. And at the moment, I don't have the time to dedicate to that. But the day I do, I will learn how to play the violin.
Oh, good for you. That's great. I mean, I listen, I totally have faith that you will as well. You know, because I can tell when you talk about these instruments and you say, and the word operative word is love, you know what I mean? The passion that you have
Yeah.
for it, no matter what, it's going to blossom into other forms. And as you mature and it's going to be really interesting, I bet you will rip on a violin eventually.
One day, one day.
But that's great, Gabby. Now, listen, were there other kind of artists that you were inspired by when you were kind of growing up and getting involved in music yourself that you really loved and that you were maybe have influenced in some extent your own music?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first person that comes to mind as like a storyteller and a singer-songwriter would be Taylor Swift. I grew up listening to
Uh-huh.
her like religiously, like loved her. Still do love her, but like went to every concert, every single concert, singing my heart out about songs I now emotionally can feel, but at the time I was like 6 or 7 and had no idea what I was singing to.
Right.
Like absolutely love her. I remember just like the emotion and the way she writes music is something that now from the songwriter side I'm like I can really appreciate that, but even at 5 up to like 12, 13, I loved. And I honestly I still tell people this. I used to sit down on my piano before I had any real training and I would just write stuff
Sure.
like random chords with like these stories. I would just write like lyrics and I would just put this whole story together. And looking back, it's embarrassing and none of them are very good. I found the book actually a couple of years ago after my first like year at Berkeley, and I was like, "Oh my God, no!" I'm like, "This is terrible." But she inspired me, even not having the knowledge that I did in music, to like really sit down and want to tell stories because of how she did. And so I think that she stuck with me the most my entire life, and that's like an artist that really inspires me still today. Another popular artist today that kind of inspired me, but this is more of a recent inspiration, is Tate McRae.
Uh-huh.
She's fairly young coming up in the scene, but I think that just the way she tells stories is very mature for a woman her age. And I first heard her song "You Broke Me" first, and I heard it right after I went through a really traumatic breakup, and I was like really not feeling myself. And I heard this song, and I was like, "That's everything I would have said if I could put into words how I feel right now." And so for me, that's always how I've aspired to write my music, is so that somebody can hear it and it can help them get through something they're going through, or it can put life into perspective for people. And so hearing that, ever since then, I've been hooked on her music. And whenever I hear something she writes, I'm like, I could totally see us getting along really well and writing really well together. So like maybe down the line one day, I'm like, hit me up. I'm totally available. Been a stan for a while now, but I just that's kind of something that inspired me before writing my last EP I put out in December, and that kind of got this whole new creativity flowing in me as a songwriter. Listening to her work.
Oh, that is wonderful. And you know what? It's great to recommend these, these artists as well that have inspired you. In terms of storytelling, obviously, this is a great passion for you, and also the emotional depth in which these songs, that have been, delivered by Taylor Swift, and it runs the gamut, and and it's very relatable, and you know what I mean, and we're not always on the upside, sometimes we're on the downside, and that's where a lot of art
Absolutely.
comes out of, is adversity. So that overcoming and returning to joy is a journey that we always love in storytelling. And you're doing it really well, Gabby. And so let me ask this question: what do you got coming up? What are you working on currently?
Yeah, so I just released my EP Metamorphosis back in December. So that's kind of like my big senior EP project.
Mhm.
And that means a lot to me. There's 4 tracks on that. And I'm currently in the process of getting together my next EP. It doesn't have a title yet. Still in the process of kind of, as the songs are developing, we're going to figure out what the title is. And where to go after my last one. But I'm really excited about the new songs on this track. I've built a lot of them in some production classes at my school, and they kind of have this new unique sound for me. They still contain my old sound, but they're in this new direction. And I think like for me as an artist, a big thing is mixing genres and always evolving as an artist and always
Right.
being different and changing. And that doesn't mean that, the box I was in yesterday, I'm changing it, but I don't ever feel like I have to fit myself in one box. And so I'm really excited that this new sound is going to be a little different than my old EP, yet still be who I am. And I'm really excited for the stories that they have to share. But
Right.
yeah, that's my big exciting project. The first song is supposed to be dropping April 22nd, which is my birthday. I wanted to like give myself a little
Happy
present.
birthday early.
Um, thank you. And then the rest will be coming out in June or July. And then I'm hoping to do like a little tour on the East Coast then. But we'll see where COVID is. Obviously, want to keep everyone safe, including myself.
Sure.
But I really am just eager to like get back out and perform this new music. But in the world we're living in right now, it's just not happening. So I keep telling people, get vaccinated, stay safe, so we can all see live music performances again. Like
Big
I've just
time.
been itching to get out and perform the music. So that's a big hope. Fingers crossed for the summer.
All right, Gabby. Well, we're going to follow your social media channels to, basically follow your progress. And we're also going to be looking forward to you coming up on FENIX360. So let's everyone do that. Look at the social media channels below for Gabi Amirato, and definitely look for her on FENIX360. And thanks for being with me. Good luck with school, and looking forward to your new music coming up. And thanks for being with me,
Thank
Gabby.
you. Thank you for having me. I had such a fun time.
Me too. You take care.
Watch it through the window pane as you drive away. I die little when I hear her name. This time meant nothing 'cause you threw it all away. You can't play fair, don't play the game. Said it was all in my head anyway. You never liked what I had to say. Oh well. You can't play fair, you lose again. You have to look